Good morning once again, my dear students. Okay, I am Rakesh Shrestha, your English teacher for distance educations. Last Wednesday, I was here and I took a class for grade 10 and grade 9, in which I prepared my lessons and I tried to help you out, okay, in understanding voice and reported speech and grammar. Today, okay, this time is for grade 10 English, and I'm interested in talking about some reading strategies where we will inclusively talk about context clues. So stay with me for the next 30 minutes and let's enrich our reading skills. And at the end of my class, I will tell you why this is important for you people out there. Anyways, okay, in average, do you know how many numbers of vocabularies a person has, okay, if you are a native speaker? The answer is, okay, it's 2 and 4 zeros. This is a normal figure for an average person that he's active vocabulary skills in his life. Okay, if you talk about his passive vocabulary skills, the vocabularies which he knows but which the person doesn't try to bring that out, okay, in his real conversation and practice, it's almost double, and that is 4 and 4 zeros. Now, we are not the native speakers if you're talking about English as a context. We're non-native speakers. So we might have our vocabularies less than 2, 4 O's. This is one reason for us that reading becomes very challenging indeed. And when you talk about reading, okay, many of us, we do not prefer to read. I am pretty sure, okay, if you're in a classroom right now, and if you're looking into some of the words that I've drawn on the board, like, okay, lexicographers, haberdashery, okay, dictionary experts, you might probably know linguists, some other words like ecstatic, intensified, timid, mob, and ovation. Okay, you might start wondering, what are these words and what are the meanings of these words? In real classrooms, okay, students would start talking to one another. Do you know this word? And if you're reading and you encounter these words, okay, in your text, probably, okay, the first person you would ask is your teacher. You will consider that your teacher knows everything. But does it happen? Like, do I know everything as a teacher? My answer is no. I also don't know everything. I rely on certain techniques, okay, to understand vocabularies. Of course, my vocabulary knowledge is higher than yours. I know more number of words compared to you. But can you become like teachers? Of course, yes. The next thing, if your teacher, okay, cannot give you the right answer, the right meanings of some of the vocabularies you raise in your class, what do you do next? Definitely, okay, you would go to somewhere, or you would start looking inside your bags and try to find a dictionary if you have carried it. And then you will start flipping the pages of the dictionary, and then you will find, okay, the meaning. But will you know the meaning even after you read? And do you think you're able to understand the ideas that is communicated to you by the author? Probably no. So, in today's class, we will try to focus on all these ideas. And at the end of the class, like I've said previously, we will try to enrich our vocabularies. Here's the questions I've put for all of you. How rich are you? Not in terms of money, in terms of your vocabulary or the glossary skills. So let's build that comprehensive knowledge of understanding the text. Yeah, reading, of course, is one thing that we all do in our life. For instance, let's read something before we jump into the text. Look at here. On your screen, you will see a short paragraph. I would love to read that for all of you. It was time for the band to march on the field. The crowd was ecstatic. People were screaming and cheering, showing their excitement. The music intensified or increased in volume. Unlike her timid friends, Morgan was unafraid to perform in front of, okay, always missing there, the roaring crowd. After the show, the mob gave a standing ovation. The fans stood and clapped to show their appreciation for a great performance. You must have already noticed the words, okay, that are underlined and made blue are put on the board over here. So now for me, I'm a teacher. I'm already familiar with these words, and I know the meaning of these words, even if I don't use them in a sentence. I know the meaning. So for me, it is not that difficult. But for many of you and many of the readers, okay, when you introduce these words in the text, and even if you're reading the text, okay, you might not know the meanings. And ultimately, you will plan to give up. That is what most of us do. But let's not do that again. From today, we'll try to change ourselves. Moving further, okay, what is reading first? Basically, reading is a process, all right? It is a process, very deliberate process, very intensive process in which we try to recognize words, okay, identify the ideas, and while doing so, okay, we'll try to develop a comprehensive knowledge of the text that we are reading. And when you do that, okay, we'll try to acknowledge the idea which is presented to us, okay, by the author. So text actually connects us with a world that is being presented, whether it is a story or essay or poems or drama or anything. You always try to connect yourself, okay? And for that, you need to become very engrossed in reading. So the process of reading, your teachers must have explained to you, like I have mentioned it right over here. 3 stages of reading, okay, goes with pre-reading, okay, and just reading, and then post-reading. All right. Now, pre is like you prepare for the reading. You will read the introduction, you might read the conclusion, you might scan, okay, some words, you may scheme some words, and while doing so, okay, you will try to take those ideas and put it down in a small paper. You will scribble perhaps, and then you will try to make a small understanding of the text. That is just pre. Reading, you become a little engrossed, intensive, and you start reading between the lines. And then your mind will start making pictures of the ideas that is connected to you. Post-reading comes with an evaluation process. If you want to write some analysis of the text that you have read, your teachers must have given you a lot of questions, and then you start exploring your mind. You start, okay, exploring your ideas. And with that, okay, when you pour your ideas and thoughts, when you pen them down in the paper, okay, you become a very good reader because you have applied the techniques of post-reading. But for all these, obviously, you might have to, okay, travel with me to the journey of reading. For me, how do I take reading? Reading for me is a sheer joy. It gives me all the knowledge of the world. As a man, and I live short in this world, I really cannot understand the whole world, okay, within my own life. So I have to borrow the ideas. I have to become, okay, a voracious reader. The more I read, the better person I become. And with that, I accumulate, okay, with myself, a vast knowledge of the world, as vast as the sea itself is. So reading for me is adventurous. You can read it, okay, when you're camping, when you're on picnic, okay, whether it is, okay, the tombstone or the milestone, okay, you read informations. Reading can be done anywhere. It is also ageless, okay? No matter what your age is, you can still read. I have started reading, okay, when I was small, and I became, okay, a good reader, okay, at your age. By your age, I was not so good in understanding vocabularies. I was totally confused like you people are right now. But today, okay, because I keep on reading a lot of things, I have enabled myself in understanding the world better. So from my point of view, I see the world different. Yes, it is, okay, dimensional. You can read varieties of texts. Maybe it is Valmiki's Ramayana or the European history's Renaissance or Noam Chomsky's media control or even our everyday's horoscopes, the zodiac symbols. We prefer reading. Reading is fun, and it is, okay, incredibly quenchable and satisfying. I keep on reading a lot of novels, like some of the favorite novels. I put it down for you people here. Don Brown's Angels and Demons, A Conflict Between Science and Religions. Okay, Robert Louis Stevenson's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It talks about the duality personality, okay, inside us. Quite interesting topic. If you go for a classic, you can read Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice. And if you go for a little modern, okay, you can read Aleph by Paulo Coelho and his other novels. Now, yeah, so this is how we go in the journey of reading. But again, our journey there is an obstacle. We always meet with hindrances. Let's talk about them now. See the word here, haberdashery. I'm pretty sure I must have put this word on the board too. For all of us, it's here. Now, when I speak of this word, haberdashery, what is this word? We don't know. In fact, when I read this word for the first time in my life, I also didn't know because it was new for me. But then, I thought of one thing. I did not go for the dictionary, I started, trying to use it in a sentence. Some of the sentences that you can see on the screen, like, I know a haberdashery. Right now, I don't know it, but I just pretend like I know it and I write, I know a haberdashery. Then I make a slight change with this. I saw a haberdashery yesterday. Now, when I write, I know a haberdashery, I saw a haberdashery, I consider this is something object. It is not an abstract idea. This is concrete because I can see it. So that is how I start working with my mind. My friends and I always go to the haberdashery at the weekend. If that is a sentence I read of the word haberdashery, I come to know, this must be a place. Maybe it's an amusement park, or it's a shopping mall, or it is a game station, because I go there with my friends, so it must be a place. This is how I start, making my assumptions of understanding this word at the primary level. Now, yes, we can go for a dictionary, but with that skill, you'll always become lame, and the chances of you becoming a good reader will become very slim. That's a very small amount. So instead, we try to understand, the process of reading. And here we go, we start with this. The first process that we need to understand of understanding the words is cognate. Now, what is cognate? Look at some of the words that I've drawn there. Quite interesting, right? You must think, these are the words I know. Even, in Nepali language, we use these words. The first word, lute, thug, jungle. You must have been using jungle, Nepali, and you must have heard Indian people also using the word jungle. Cupboard is another word, and then table, restaurant, furniture. So what is cognate is better explained, in some of the more examples that I've given listed out here on your screen. You're talking about lute, If you're a Nepali, language user, and you know the meaning of the word lute, if this lute appears in your English reading, you will somehow make your mind and try to feel that, this is what I know in my language. Loot is something like stealing, robbing people. It's like sneezing their belongings and keeping for yourself. That is what it is. So it must be this. You'll apply that idea. Thug, again, in Nepali we call it thug, but in English it is thug, since that is how they pronounce. This is also, a word that is discovered with its meaning by applying the same process. Jungle, common. Cupboard, it's not cupboard, it's cupboard. Now, if you use cupboard, cupboard becomes familiar to you if you are a Hindi language speaker, because it means, an object in which you store your outfits, clothes. Table, now, in Nepali, we do not say table, but we say table. So if pretending that I am an English reader right now, and I'm reading a Nepali text, and then I see there, table. So for me, that cognate will help. This is table in my language. I'm an Englishman. I say table. It must be table. So we say in Nepali, restaurant. If it is used restaurant and an Englishman is reading restaurant, of course, he will try to apply his own sense, his own context will be helping him out. And what is that context? Of course, he knows restaurant. So he will try to equate restaurant and restaurant, and somehow will understand that this word means this. So furniture is the same case. Now more examples I'm going to discuss here with cognate. See, for a short while, let's pretend that we are Spanish people. I'm a Spanish speaker. I'm reading English. Now, when I read English, I might get some words, like the first word is excellent. If I read a word in English text, excellent, and I'm Spanish, I don't know this meaning, but what I will do is I'll compare it my own language with my own language. In my language, I say it excelente. Now, this excelente is excellent. I get that very quickly. Now, this is generoso in Spanish. So a Spanish person reading generous in English will understand generous is generoso. And similarly, you have the other example, elefante is elephant, okay, persona is a person, familia, familiar, differente is difference, instructiones is instructions. So cognate helps us in understanding, okay, new words. But for that, you have to make sure that you find that connection, the connections of your language and its similar kinds of words and pronunciation in the other. Take an example, okay, one more example, homograph. This is for small kids. Like, if you just take an example of the word B-O-W, if we can see this, bow. Now, bow has significantly, okay, two meanings, or maybe someone prefer to use it, okay, more. First meaning, of course, okay, you can have a small bow tie right here. The bow tie is here for parties. Next bow is like greetings. The Japanese people do. Even we do that, okay? We bend our body slightly, okay? We extend them a little forward and take a bow. So like, if that is it, homograph, but how do you understand homograph? Like, if I use a word bank, unless I use bank in a sentence, I am sure, okay, we don't understand its meaning. We're confused. Am I talking about the river bank or the bank where we deposit money? So you will wait for someone to clear the context. Someone will read aloud for you. I went to the bank yesterday and I saw there were many people standing in queue depositing money. Now the context is clear. So with this, I'm trying to make a point. If you want to find out the context, okay, in reading, what you need to do is you need to check, you need to look for those contexts before and after the words. Let's hit examples. Inference. Let me just rub this clear. I will have a lot of space for us to make some explanations. All right. See, sometimes we try to apply our own mind, okay? The logic works. Many times it works. When I say, okay, if I'm visiting with my friends to a cinema hall and I just say this, friends, we cannot watch a movie today. Now, my friends will apply inference, the logic, the chain of reasoning, and they will start, okay, making the meaning of my sentence. Someone might say, this guy must have forgotten, okay, the tickets at home, so we cannot watch. The next friend might use his inference skill and say, maybe we have got some other urgent work to do, so we cannot be watching movie now. Or one friend just might say, okay, the show is houseful, we cannot even buy a single ticket. How can we watch the movie in groups? So inference actually tells you, okay, the meaning of the words. Look at the sentence, the word that I've drawn for you, okay, we're talking about haberdashery. H-A-B-E-R, okay, D-A-S-H-E-R-Y. So how to know the haberdashery? See the example here. The haberdashery was Lou's favorite place. Every man in his family went there to buy things whenever they had parties to attend. Now I look for the context. For me, okay, it's a place. And look at the context in the second sentence. Every man in his family. Come on, men. It's not women. None of the women go there. It's only men. That's the first clue for me. Second, okay, they buy things there, not anywhere else, but there, and that is especially when they are attending parties. So I make my mind, what do I need for parties? I need beautiful dresses. And where should I go for that? Of course, places where I can buy them from. So here, haberdashery is a place, okay, where men can buy all their attires. So it's a place which sells, okay, men's clothing. So this is a bit of inference technique that I have applied. Like, here's a picture of the Monopoly game, and I have mentioned chess and Monopoly intelligence. So what is this chess and Monopoly intelligence? Of course, you know, if I say that someone plays chess and someone plays Monopoly, my inference, my thinking skills tells that it is a game that requires extreme level of intelligence. An ordinary person cannot play that. All right? So I would consider the person who plays chess is intelligent, he is smart, smarter than the others, and he is somehow very unique. and he knows how to solve problems because I have applied my inference thinking skills. In the same way, look at this example. I've given you a picture of the haberdashery for ease. Sometimes a word or phrase meaning is explained immediately after its use. What is this clue? Haberdashery, which is a store that sells men's clothing. Now here, the part which is a store that sells men's clothing, the information that has appeared, between the commas, beginning with the word which, ... actually tells you the meaning of the haberdashery, and that is the writer's main intention. Every writer tries to communicate to his audience smoothly, and so he builds up all his vocabulary skills and creates that comfort zone for the readers. Otherwise, if readers lose intention of reading, his work of art will fail. He doesn't want this. So he has this deliberate job of keeping the audience or the readers connected with his text, and therefore he keeps on making the clues. So he must have got the clues, and this clues is definition. The first one that I've said to you was inference. That was inference clue. Second one, we're talking about definition. Definition as a clue, to find the meanings of unfamiliar words. Similarly, we have got the next one, and this is called example. Sometimes writers, they might give you quite a lot of example in series to understand the word. Let's take an example here itself. Haberdashery is becoming more common today. Now, what is haberdashery? I would like to know. So the writer has put it for me. It sells men's ties, shoes, shirts, pants, and other every attires men are looking for. Now, with all these examples of men's ties, shoes, shirts, pants, and other needful things, I'll come to know that haberdashery is a place where I can shop something for myself. So that is an example clue. We have next clue. It's here. Sometimes a word or phrase is clarified by the presentation of the opposite meaning. Now, interesting. When I say opposite meaning, the clue is antonym. So, find the antonyms. Has the writer used antonyms in his text to understand the meaning? Let's see here. Lou wanted to go to the haberdashery, but Anne wanted to shop at the boutique. Now, if you know this word boutique, if you know this word boutique as a place where women go for shopping, it's a common thing that we all have been observing in our context too. In my house, almost every woman, they prefer buying things in boutique because they consider it's of the best quality. Though they pay a little high, they go there. So if I know this word boutique, and I will make a comparison here. Lou is a man, he goes to haberdashery. Anne is a woman, and she goes to boutique. So with that, I'll come to know that antonym clues is used. Boutique, a place for women. So haberdashery must be a place for men. I get that meaning very easily. See, I have not relied on dictionary, to get the meanings of these words. We have one more clue, and this is, opposite of antonym. This is called synonym clue. Now, what is synonym clue? You try to look for some synonymous words, in finding the answers. Example is there on your screen. Lou was sent to the haberdashery to find a new suit he needed to wear one of his uncle's wedding. Because the sentence says that Lou would find a suit at the haberdashery, then it must be a place where clues for men are sold. Now, are these all, the clues, or do we have more? We have, here, one page that will give you a comprehensive idea of understanding context clues for the word available. Since this is recorded, I will not go through these in detail. What I want you to do is, revisit my teaching, check the recording, find the space, and try to find out how the word available is used in different contexts. But right now, comprehensively, what I have learned, or what we have learned together is, this ideas for understanding context clues. Now, what is this idea? Let me show you. I stands for inference. See, this will make it very easy. T stands for definition. E stands for example, A stands for antonym, and S stands for synonym. Sometimes, instead of antonym, okay, they also use contrast to draw the clues. Contrast meaning opposite. And for a synonym, if they do not use the synonymous word, they might prefer to restate the idea, okay, which is called restatement. So for antonym, you can call it contrast. For synonym, you can call it restatement. Okay, and how these work, okay, let's take some examples. But before that, this is the last clue, okay, which is called punctuation. And see the example there. It's the same sentence used differently with different punctuation marks. In the first sentence, comma is used. In the second sentence, brackets are used. In the third sentence, okay, the quotes are used. The other sentences. Now, they are called enlargements, okay? Sometimes you need to know the technical terms. They're called enlargements. We use enlargements, subject enlargements and object enlargements, okay, to define those terms. It comes in grammar, okay? If we go for a next class with that, we'll talk about that. Now, here comes some examples for all of us. See, the first sentence, very quickly I would do this. We might not do all, but I will try to cover as many as possible. Police officers often must interrogate witnesses. That is, the officers must ask their witnesses important questions and try to get truthful answers. So what is interrogate? The clues are there, like ask their witnesses important questions and try to get the truthful answers. Similarly, if you go over the last number in green, see the word conspicuous is quite difficult for many people to learn that. Every time Taylor went to the store, he was very conspicuous. Now, what is this conspicuous? What are the clues? In other words, he stuck out like a sore thumb. Now, the idiom is used there. What is he stuck out like a sore thumb? If my thumb is sore, what happens? I get noticed by people because I focus on this thumb quite a lot of time. I try to stand like a different person. So everybody will notice me. So conspicuous is like, okay, getting attention, being noticed easily. If we go with the next example, okay, let's take the first one. Miguel was very loquacious. He really loved to talk. Now, what is loquacious? Restated. See, the restatement you use. He really loved to talk. So someone who likes talking is loquacious. Third, in pink, it was a frigid winter night. Even the lake was frozen solid. Now, what is frigid? Okay, it's explained. It was frozen solid. Okay, so frigid is like, okay, you can just imagine. And you must have got that picture, right? So the easiest one is at the bottom. We all line up at the cafeteria. Thank goodness it was time to eat lunch. So where do you go to eat lunch? Even if you do not know what cafeteria is, now you know it is an eating place. More examples, okay? Number third, my sister wants to study astromania in college. It's not a new word. Someone just replaced a Spanish word, okay? Astromania is like, okay, astronomy. So astronomy, this is astronomia. You apply the cognate skill here again. If we go for fourth, she feels lethargic or usually tired and unable to move around, which is one symptom of the flu. Example. See, what is being lethargic? You are absolutely tired and then you cannot move around, and this is what the example you will get. We have got more. I'll just do the last two sentences for all of us. Number third again. I don't know, okay, I'm choosing third. Third might be my lucky number. The restaurant's ambience, including its quiet music, delightful flowers, and candlelight, made it a perfect place for the guests to remember the reception that Bill threw for them. So what is ambience? Difficult? It is not. Look at the examples given there. Look at the elaboration the writer has made. Quiet music, delightful flowers, candlelight, guest. What does it mean? It is talking about the atmosphere, right? It's talking about the aroma. It's talking about the surrounding. So ambience is a surrounding that is pleasing, that is appealing. Every one of us can understand unfamiliar vocabularies if you apply ideas. Ideas are these. All right, this was the class for grade 10, okay? Reading strategies, context clues, and in your regular compulsory English book prescribed by government, you have got exercise related to do, especially in unit 2, 3, and 4, and you can apply these everywhere, and then you become a voracious, promising reader. If you want to read good and take the journey of reading and become a very, very good reader, practice this. You can meet me if you want to at 11:05. I will be taking class for grade 9, teaching them story strategies. Because this is relevant, grade 10 can also join. 11:05, please. Thank you and bye-bye.